husband Ian was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in July 2006.
Well, as a brother, it's very difficult to watch your brother have to deal with cancer and have to go through treatments.
When Ian was first diagnosed, his first fear was, what am I going to tell my children? And that was a hard one.
You know, when it comes to a point that you know there is no turning back for your son or daughters, okay, it becomes more important to be with him. You want to spend every second with him. And we did.
L'unité 7 Nord-Ouest est une unité à l'hôpital général juif de Montréal qui est compromise de 34 lits. La majorité de la population qui est sur cette unité-là, c'est une population atteinte de cancer.
Well, I was on 7 Northwest because I was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia in March 2006, and that's where I was being taken care of.
Seven Northwest is also a unit where we don't have visiting hours. Families are part of the patient care on the unit. Whoever needs to be there, whoever the patient needs to have beside him and her, that's the family. And that is 7 Northwest.
When I first got to 7 Northwest, I was put in a room. The walls were very bare, so they were very pale. It wasn't very bright.
It was hard for my children to come and see him in the surroundings of the hospital. It's not a happy place to be, and for kids to see, you know, their strength, their father, their role model, being in those conditions, it was very difficult for Ian and me and our family.
It was very difficult sitting and stacking chairs during the day. At night when we slept over, we had to bring in an air mattress. There was nowhere to sleep for us, and we just slept on the floor.
My mom slept many of nights on one of the chairs that was there, and she would tell me the chair was very uncomfortable and it was broken and it wasn't accommodating because it was just very cramped.
The present conditions are on 7 Northwest are conditions that could greatly improve. And when I mean greatly improve, it's the physical environment for our patients and our families. We require the rooms to become a second home.
When we stayed on 7 Northwest, my mother-in-law and I would try to make Ian as comfortable as possible. We would go in search for sheets that didn't have holes in them.
The system in the hospital for calling the nurses or for any intercom, it's a disaster. It's on all night.
My husband, at one time when he was confined to his bed, had to go to the bathroom, and he didn't. It was humiliating for him to have to use a bedpan. And to get him onto a wheelchair, first of all, was very difficult. And even if he did get into the wheelchair, he couldn't get into the bathroom on his own unless the wheelchair would fit through the door, which it didn't.
I would say that one of the most difficult environment is the bathrooms. First of all, the doors are very narrow, so if a patient has a walker, they're unable to really go in straight into the bathroom. They have to go sideways because the walker doesn't fit to go into the bathroom.
There was a few occasions where they attached my husband's medicine into what they call a pain pump, which is those, sometimes you see patients walking around with those poles, and it administers the medication at a certain rate. So we didn't have enough of those, and I had to hold up the bag of medicine so it would flow properly.
7 Northwest is also not set up to receive wireless information right now. Patients that are young adults, that are teenagers, They live with their laptop. So when they are admitted on the unit, that cannot stop.
In fact, I think I was here for about 3 weeks before I was even able to check my email, which is shocking. I mean, that's the longest I've gone since I had email in my life, you know?
Having a laptop and access to wireless internet while I was on 7 Northwest would have been absolutely amazing.
In order to live, you've got to be able to keep in touch with people, and that's one of the main ways of doing it these days, so.
The reason that we're here is for Vision of Hope. It was our family's vision that we had to make a difference in this hospital where Ian was hospitalized.
I want other people to come in there and feel good about their surroundings, whether they're there for one night or for 2 months.
The nurses, the staffing is just incredible on that floor. The environment is the issue, and the equipment is the issue, non-medical equipment, which is what we're trying to make a difference. And that's what Vision of Hope is about.
We need proper furniture for the families who are staying there, as I'm sure in our case, 24 hours a day. We never left Ian alone. We need showers for the patients who are in isolation. They cannot go out to the hall to a public shower.
These little measures can make drastic improvements for the emotional well-being of so many patients.
We have to do something for 7 Northwest at the Jewish General. We have to make it a place that they have a feel good about it when they go in.
No mother should have to watch their child die in such horrid physical conditions as we had on 7 Northwest.
My personal feeling for the Foundation Vision of Hope is just that. It's hope. It's hope to be able to achieve this second home for patients and family. It's the hope for all our future patients and their family members that when they come on 7 Northwest, for them, it's coming back home. It's coming to an environment that they know. It's coming to an environment that they know they will have everything available for them to care for their loved one in the bed, as much as for the patient being in that bed. He or she will know that we are there for them.
When a hospital undertakes to do a project, it does it not for the short term and not for just cosmetic purposes. It's done for the safety and for the well-being of all its patients and its caregivers alike.
The 7 Northwest family is extremely grateful to the Samberg family and to Vision of Hope that it's going to be our patients who are the beneficiaries of their labor of love.
A year after Ian's passed away, his memory still is very strong in our hearts, and if he could only see how his family and his friends have grouped together to start this Vision of Hope in his name, I think he would be very happy.